So the question is, how can we get you from 0 to 500,000 followers? Now, this is something that Orko and I literally did. When we first started working together, I did not have any steady fan following. Social media is not something that I knew anything about, that I took seriously. I think I posted on like Facebook sometimes. And so the way people knew me was just because I had networked really well in my home state. I did a lot of shows. And so I kind of, had my game on, that way. But then beyond that, nothing, because I wasn't on social media.
Mm.
When I decided to start taking social media seriously and we got into it and we're making content, everything changed. So what we're going to talk about are basically the 5 steps that we went through to get from 0 to 500,000 followers across all social media platforms. Are you ready?
Yeah, just first off, just know that you got to have patience. This is not it. I mean, I've heard people being able to do it overnight, but this was not a quick process.
Yeah. That's the pre-tip. But no, that's very true. And for some people, you might have immediate success, but even then, when you have something that goes viral, you got to follow it up, and that's where people will fail. So, and anyway, let's get into it. So, number one, you have to get into the habit of producing and posting content first. It is the most difficult thing for a lot of people, myself included, because now you are having a complete shift of like your identity. You are now
Mhm.
someone who makes content, and you have all kinds of feelings wrapped up in it, and you don't want to do it, and it's very unnatural. But that's why we say this, the first step is just creating the habit of actually doing it. Okay, so you're producing content, you're making it, and you gotta post it. You can't just take pictures and make videos and do all this stuff and then you never post it, right? That Orko?
No, it gets tough, man, because especially when you're first getting into it, you already feel like you have this identity, maybe of how you look at yourself, and you feel like by playing the game, it kind of somewhat makes you lesser than. So you're worried about what your immediate friends or your family are going to think about your videos, and if nobody likes them. First of all, get that out of your head as well. Like, you got to have a thick skin at the top, and you just got to post like she says. You got to just have it and just go 1 2 3, put it out and put
Yeah.
it out.
You are getting into the habit of doing this, and then that moves us on to step number two, which is you're going to start analyzing what's actually working, right? So you
Yeah.
do this for a few weeks, right? Don't post one time and they're like, oh my gosh, it failed and I'm a failure and I suck. Stop all that. You're actually going to just post no matter what it is, okay? Even if it's like literally the same thing. You're like, oh, I have 5 seconds to do this in my car every day, and you have car selfies or car selfie videos, then do that. That's okay, as long as you do it. And then once you've done it for a couple of weeks, actually look back and analyze and be like, did anything get picked up, right? Did any of the platforms start pushing out my stuff organically? How many, like comments did I get? We don't care about likes. And for me, once I figured that out, I was like, likes are they're the lowest rated thing that I look at. They don't matter. I'm looking at, did people actually watch it?
Mm.
That's interesting. Are people curious? Are they commenting? Are they engaged? So
I hit
analyze and actually
like
look at
very
it.
rarely on Instagram anyway. Like, but that just might just be me. I rarely hit the like button. I rarely will hit a comment. I will comment on something, and I consume a lot of content on social media. I wouldn't say that I participate in actively in it, but so there might be millions of you might have a fan base that you don't even realize that you have, because I'm even my favorite artist, I'm not hitting the like button on anything.
That's a good point. And look, so Dina, I never have anything clever to post on Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about that for a sec. Says who? It sounds like you're talking yourself down and before you've even posted something. You're telling me that there's nothing that you've ever thought that you wanted to share with a friend or a family member. You're like, you know what I think about that new vampire TV show? You have an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. And at a minimum, you could share that. Now, obviously, we want to try to do stuff that's on, brand if we're promoting our music careers or our businesses or whatever. But I'm
But
saying
it's
do
so
whatever.
easy. It's so easy. Like, again, the hardest thing, everybody just, I think at the end of the day, just making excuses, are they don't want to be judged by their peers. That's it. That's the biggest reason why nobody is taking that first step. because to your point right there, so there's a vampire show that's on. All you like in social media, all the platforms make it so easy to make content and edit. You don't have to be a professional. You literally sit there with your phone that everybody has. You use that green screen background. You have a thumbnail of what the movie or TV show that you're watching. If it even if it's on brand with you. So say like you're a dark pop artist and you want to talk about vampire show that you just watched. You pull up the thing, you have the picture behind you, and you do 10 seconds of your, rant or your thought on the thing, dunzo. You ask a question at the top of the thing, and at the end of the thing you repeat the question because you want the engagement. But like it's so easy. Like the people are literally just remixing other content, and they are just on the video watching it, and they're just going, and they're getting like 30,000 plays. They don't even have to see. You don't even have to say anything
Yeah,
to
no,
get
and
yourself
it's
started.
funny. I was talking to my students, and I was telling them, I was like, for example, some of my content that's performed the best is just of me walking. So that's something that I do every once in a while because I know it will do well. I just walk towards the camera. Now, obviously, if I have a little attitude and I'm kind of strutting, it makes it perform better. And then I put some sassy text on it, and then that's it. How much effort did that take me to walk to and fro the camera? So, in any case, number one, you got to get in the habit of actually just posting, okay? Number two, then you got to look at what you're doing and what's performing, okay? And then three, once you see, you're like, oh man, when I do those videos where I'm reacting to viral content and it's like metalhead reacts to, pop release and some, guy sitting there and he's like, and that's all he does. And then those are the things that perform really well on the
Yeah.
page, which then promotes the guy in general and the fact that he does metal music. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you can kind of cross pollinate entertaining people with driving traffic to your platform. So anyway, you go and you're like, okay, I see this stuff's kind of working. So then three, you're actually going to improve the quality of what you're doing because maybe what
Yeah.
you've been doing, you have like no light. So now
Yeah.
you're going to go find a window and
Yeah.
you're going to have a little sunlight while you do your metalhead reacts to the pop artist video because
But
it
don't
does well,
be
but it could do better with a little more light and a little more text and a little more thought.
absolutely. That's something that you should always be thinking of. And it's something that we talk about a lot on the channel, which is investing in yourself and investing in those things to make your content, to make your music, to make your life, whether it be, getting a new sound pack that'll inspire you, or taking a course on, learning about, how to, make a beat or something, just anything that you can do is always good as far as looking ahead to that. And don't feel like you're trapped. Like if you don't have that new camera, you can't get started. I see plenty of videos that are going viral with like horrible quality, but but the thing was good. The idea, the thought that they had was interesting. I mean, really, like look at the quality of the videos that come into your feed. Look at how many views they have, and go, is like, aside from how great it like the content is the quality that good? I mean, most people just put a lot of filters on stuff anyway.
Well, and I'll even say this, what I've seen is that the more real you try to make your content, if you're talking to the camera, right, even if it is kind of low quality, even if it is bad lighting, people actually resonate with that. So don't be held back because again of the quality thing, because it actually might help you because people are
It
tired
feels
of seeing
real.
everything super airbrushed, right? All right, so
Or
once then you,
one more just last thing on that. Or you could just
but
put a picture, just a solid picture. I'm seeing it a lot too.
sure,
Or
sure.
just a landscape picture, and then you're talking over it and you're giving your thought, and then you do that because I mean it'll already transcribe your speech. So you'll have
Yeah.
your speech. How many videos have you seen like that?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why we say just start because you'll figure out what you want to do once, but you got to do it. I think people are like thinking too much and then they just
Mhm.
never do anything, right? So then step number 4 is going to be once you kind of figure out what's working for you, that those first 3 steps could take you 2 years. That's okay. Okay. And I think for the average person, it does, take that time. All right. And for me, even like being beyond 2 years, I'm still learning. And I'm on
Yeah.
stage 4, which is, well, then you have to adapt. Okay. So once you have some stuff that takes off and goes viral, that's amazing. But everyone's going to plateau. No
Right.
one's algorithm is ever going to hang on like that. So when you plateau, then you're going to figure out well, that's okay. And you're going to maintain because you never want to discount the people who actually follow you,
Yeah.
right? So even if, it's still now 100 likes and it's less than it was and all that, that's still 100 people who have been following you and being dedicated fans. So put in the time for them, even if your stuff is kind of weak sauce. And even if that's the case now, put in the time for the people who actually care, even if that's like two people,
And
honestly.
if you're switching your branding, like let's say like the things that kind of maybe your old school fans, maybe you've drifted away a little bit from that. So that's why stories are perfect because you could do the throwback stuff in the stories. It's temporary content. If you're trying to have a specific look to your feed and how it looks is just a cohesive, project. So that's something else to consider too, just taking advantage of the stories for your posts.
Yeah. And then step 5, we made it, guys. At that point, it might make sense to hire someone. The reason I did not include hire someone earlier in this entire progression is because if you just hire someone, you're going to pay
Right.
them money. They might give you some ideas, they might post for you, that might help. But if you don't do the work, when that person leaves, you've paid them money, and now you don't know what the hell you're doing. So you have to learn how to do it. You have to know what kind of
For
works for
sure.
you, and then you can have people help. It's amazing. You can definitely get some help with it. But I think that a lot of people are like, I just need to get a PR person or I need to hire a marketing, person to do this for me. No.
It's terrible.
Have someone teach you. Watch some YouTube videos, okay? And then go back, rinse and repeat step 1 through 4.
Yeah, no, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, if your whole thing was, I don't want to deal with marketing, I don't want to learn how to do this stuff. I'm just going to rely on this, PR company or whatever that I hired for, 2 months because that's all I could afford. When that's done, what are you going to do? What
Yeah, and
what do you
typically they're not going to be
learn?
able to do much for you, right? There's only so, and I even said this to one of my artists once, and she's asked me for recommendations. I'm like, I know people, I've hired companies, and I'm telling you from my loss of money because
Right.
I want you to not lose your money. But I'm like, I get it. So if you want to do that and you want to go through that, but understand that they can't go there and be in person with you and hold your phone. Like you can save yourself like $400 by
Yeah.
going like this and just saying something and being like, hey, my new song, or I wrote this song and it meant so much to me and it's out now just so you guys know, link in the bio. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's
And
it's
don't get
easier said than
discouraged.
done. Yeah, but you have to start. So this is me giving you a kick in the ass. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying, just like don't get discouraged with it. Like too, like just because you posted something, maybe you posted your peak time would have been probably if you posted at 9 a.m. You still wanted to post something, you post something at 11. You notice that you got no love on it. You're kind of shocked by it. I don't know, man. Like try it again. Like it's don't be just so afraid of something that failed or just because something didn't work once doesn't mean it's not going to catch or it's not going it could still work. Don't discount the power or the oppression that the algorithm places on you.
No,
Like it's
and
a real thing.
some of the highest pay marketers, they'll share, their best tips and tricks and all that. And this one guy, he goes, I'll literally repost the same content, but I'll put different words on it, right? So
Mm,
different captions, and I'll do that literally one after another. I'm not spacing them out, I'm not whatever. And he goes, and I'll do this on TikTok only because I'm testing.
all right.
And he goes, whatever one performs the best is the one that I'll go post to all the other social media platforms. So no, there's plenty of room to play here. So I want to see you guys get from 0 to 500,000 and well beyond that so that you can grow your music business, right? Drive traffic to your music, make money, and make this thing your full-time career.